today. So I know in the past I've only really streamed chess, and occasionally we've interviewed some chess players. But today we have a very special show, and I've got a special guest. This is Matthew D. Anderson, a very good friend, someone who's coached me in life away from chess, but has really helped me be the person that you see on stream today and the person I've grown into. Matthew's been ranked by Dale Carnegie and Associates as the #1 corporate trainer in the world. Let me say that again. #1 corporate trainer in the world by the Dale Carnegie and Associates. That's a huge program, guys. If you don't know about that program, I encourage you to check it out. It's very good for growing your life, and the fact that he would be the #1 corporate trainer is just it's such an honor. Even the fact that he would come into our show today, and for that reason, of course, we got the subscriber-only chat on to keep this very nice, and let's continue to show him respect throughout the show. Just so glad you're able to be here today, Matt. And I see here also that you hold a master's degree in conflict management. Can you tell me a little bit about that degree? Like when we say conflict management degree, what kind of things are going on there?
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to have the opportunity to share a little bit about the work that I get to do and the things that I get to do, helping people to lead the lives they want to live. I went back and got my, I got two graduate degrees a couple of years ago. I started, 2015. The first one was in conflict management. The second was an MBA. And the conflict management degree was really about, the distillation of it all is, my master's thesis is called "There's No Such Thing as Right and Wrong." And so the concept is in regards to ethics and morality, that people believe what they believe based on the sum of their life experiences. So you can think about any dyadic conflict, so two-sided conflict. You can think of Democrats and Republicans it's a very easy analogy to use. So Democrats and Republicans, people believe what they believe because of the experiences that they've had. It's not that Democrats or Republicans are right or wrong or dumb or bad or mean or anything. It's that they believe what they believe because of the experiences that they've had in their lives. And so the thesis really comes down to, instead of arguing and fighting and saying, you know what, I'm not going to be your friend anymore, I don't want to have anything to do with you, it's how do we seek to understand one another? How do we seek to learn from one another? Not necessarily change opinions. I actually don't advocate for that at all. I'm very clear in the thesis. I'm actually writing a book as a result of the thesis. I'm not advocating for anyone to ever change their opinion on anything. You're welcome to if you'd like, but I don't advocate for that. Really what I'm advocating for instead is to seek understanding so that we can respect one another and have an appreciation for why people believe what they believe, regardless of whether or not we agree with it. We can appreciate it and we can understand it and we can respect where they're coming from. And what that allows is that we can then collaborate and find ways to work together, to serve together, to make the world a better place together in spite of our differences. And so that's really what I made out of conflict management. And that's really what's led to a lot of the work that I've done since.
Wow, that just sounds really powerful. I think, especially with the Democrats Republican thing, think about this past year. What a great message that is. The idea that somehow you kind of take a step back from those two sides and you say, hey, some of my opinions, thoughts, beliefs here are based on my own experiences. Maybe we can focus more on the experiences for a moment, step away from the Democrat Republican, and maybe try to find some common ground to get through this resolution. That sounds very powerful. And I know it kind of ties in with also the Dale Carnegie program, some of the skill sets that you actually helped me acquire there as my coach. I can say a lot about you because I actually did work with you directly. Some of the changes that you made, not only in my own life, but in other people's life, were absolutely amazing. And of course, one of the biggest things with Dale Carnegie is you kind of come in maybe with someone that doesn't feel like you have control over what's going on around you. And Dale Carnegie says, you're absolutely correct. You don't have control on what's going on around you, but you can control how you react to it. And then we see, story after story where someone, having gone through an experience, shares what they did to come through it. And I'm noticing additionally here, you were appointed by the governor to serve on the state board, and you're listed as a member of Mensa, like that really intelligent group of people, like some of the smartest people on earth. That's I know about that from a friend that used to play chess. Quite the honor, man. On that state board, what kind of things do you guys do there? That's I think a lot of us on the outside looking in might be curious, like what that means. But that sounds really cool. That the governor, singled you out to say, I want you to be part of this. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was really very honored to have that opportunity. I served a 2-year term on the board of respiratory care, and actually came to a conclusion at the beginning of this year. I've served the full 2 years, and that came to a conclusion, which was fine. And it was really a neat honor to have that opportunity. It was I served as a public member, so this board is often comprised of professionals like pulmonologists and so forth. It was actually very interesting to be on the board during the time of COVID, being a respiratory illness.
Jeez.
So that was really pretty neat to have that opportunity. We served on policy side. We did some protection for the public, and discipline as necessary to revoke licenses and so forth. It was a fascinating opportunity. I was thrilled to have the opportunity to serve our state in that capacity, and really get to see kind of behind the scenes, something that people don't often get to see, and so it was neat to be able to play a role in that.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. And of course, your Carnegie skills are going to be helpful with those unique challenges that come up, right? The idea of how do you walk through this without worry, stress, kind of compartmentalize the things that are going on, stay in that specific moment, because, of course, the pandemic led to all kinds of new challenges. And, anytime you're doing a new role like you were taking on there, it's going to be challenging when something goes different. There's a pattern that maybe the prior person that was there might have coached you through or talked you through, like, hey, as part of this job, you have to do these things. But then suddenly the pandemic comes in, and you, the governor, other people really have to like react, right?
Yep.
What principles or things maybe from the Carnegie program or from your coaching side do you think helped you out the most with that role?
Through all the education that I've had the opportunity to secure, and through the experiences that I've had, and through the coaching that I've had the opportunity to do, one of the things that is almost counterintuitive is I get to learn as much as I get to help other people learn, because there's all these individuals. I've served thousands of people over the years that I've either worked with or coached. I've had just I couldn't even count, tens of thousands of stories I've heard as a result of these individuals. Probably more than that, even if I were to really figure it out. And so I had the opportunity to learn from all these people, and really take from their experiences what works well, what doesn't work, what could work better, how could I modify something for my own life and experience. And so really taking all these things together, I really believe deeply that the experiences that we've had throughout our lives have prepared us to be successful to face the challenges that we're presented with. You could call it God or cosmic or whatever you want. That we are only presented with things that we're capable of overcoming, and I believe that very deeply. That if we're thoughtful about what we're facing in this moment, and we think about the experiences that we've had to be successful in the past, and we trust ourselves to do this, that we can successfully navigate through any challenge. And what was the one thing? I couldn't tell you the one thing, because there were lots of things. But I guess if I were really to boil it all down, it was trusting myself to know and believe that what I was going to do or doing was the right thing in that moment.
Yeah, that sounds the belief in yourself, right? And the idea that you can get through anything. And again, like you're saying, those people you worked with in the Carnegie program and other places as a coach, you've watched so many people grow now. And it's as you see each person have that success in all these different situations using the principles. And that's a lot of what that program is about. Is you give people a set of like principles and say, hey, with these, you can be successful in your life. And then they're told to target specific areas, and now you've seen them grow over and over again. Where maybe there was like a conflict or something they couldn't get past, they apply the program and they get past that, and that's going to be what's going to help your business do really well too, because you're going to be able to share that wealth of experience, all these thousands of people, all these thousands of stories. Take that experience and share that with these business people to help them have the success where maybe they're kind of pushing that ball up the hill and it starts coming back down at them. They just can't make it over to have the profitable thing or the thing that they're after start happening, or get the staffing that they need to stay around, or whatever the challenge is, right? But you're going to have those life tools for them to help them acquire talent, keep talent, grow their own knowledge maybe about situations where they're not seeing some of the things that they're doing. It's amazing how just with a couple questions you asked me, you were able to get me to go deeper and really think about, yeah, you know what, Matt, you're right. The way I'm approaching this isn't working well. I really should have begun with that question, kind of giving them a chance to look for the answer versus really like putting it on them. Like, hey, I need you to do but much better to have asked the questions to get them to say, you know, what they wanted to do and how they would approach the situation. So maybe just present more, this is the problem, what would you do here? And then by getting their answer, having my answer over here to kind of work with theirs, but letting them come to the solution on their own. That was very helpful. I'm so thankful for that experience that I had with you, and it definitely helped me, you know, with my mom is one of the relationships I wanted to repair, helped repair that relationship. You know, it's been really nice, man. It's a, and that's part of it. I wanted to have you here today. There's so many people with COVID going on. I know communication's gotten more challenging, and I just feel like the work that you're doing, the stuff that you're doing, it's like the number one thing in the world right now. There's nothing more important than people, you know, building relationships, sustaining them, and helping helping one another have that peace of mind that we used to have through seeing each other in person. You know, when you think about being together, you always have that. Like even right now, you got video I'm sharing with you. You've got those visual cues of what's Fortuna doing, what's his eye, what do his eyes look like, what's his mouth look like, is he happy, what's the tone of his voice. We lost all of that in the pandemic. I'm in meetings and it's just text, and the text can come across. You know, again going back to Dale Carnegie, we do the sentence where you put inflection on the first word, the second word, the third word, and every time you put the inflection on a different word, completely different meaning. And it's the same way at work. It's like depending on how you're reading the sentence from your coworker, it could sound like, you know, almost like they're upset at you about it, when really they might just be asking, hey, can you help? But the way it, you know, it's like, hey, can you help? Versus, you know, like that kind of thing, right? So, but yeah, just so thankful to have you here. And I see too, there's a website out here with leadership coaching for results. So that's got to be your business name up there in the left corner. Can you tell me a little about this page and what people are going to find when they go out there and start learning about your business?
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. You know, I'll give you I'll tell you about that, but let me tell you why I got to where I'm at.
Okay.
I had a situation that a lot of us are probably facing, or a lot of your subscribers may have some iteration of this that they may have faced. I was very fortunate that in 2019 was really kind of a culmination point in my career, where I had a lot of things all coming to a head. You know, I had finished my graduate degrees. I had been recognized as the #1 corporate trainer by Dale Carnegie. You know, that was a really big honor. You know, 3,000 Dale Carnegie trainers, so it's a pretty big deal. You know, so everything was really moving in a very positive direction. I had also previously been working with a nonprofit. I was in an education consulting firm, and I had a nonprofit that I was helping to grow, and so closed this really big contract that people had been trying to close for like 10 years, and they couldn't get it done, and I got it done, and I had the opportunity to go in and work with these high school students, and that's a story that I can tell you as well. That's really pretty powerful. So I was working with this nonprofit, leading the nonprofit, or rather helping grow it. And as 2019 was coming to a close, I was asked to become the executive director of this nonprofit. So January of 2020 was, you know, kind of a new starting point in my career, where I was really moving to kind of this next iteration of and throughout my career, and so I'm leading the nonprofit and working with all these state legislators, the representatives, the senators. I'm meeting with all these people, working with lobbyists, all this stuff, and the goal was to raise money to do a broad scale pilot for a youth mental health program. And so I was trying to raise $1.5 million, and we got a verbal approval to raise $3 million. There's going to be a line item in the state budget for $3 million. So that's a really big deal to have a line item. It's like a really big deal. So I got the verbal approval from the key person. So I mean, it was basically their word was as good as it was done, and so that was a huge win. And then COVID hit 2 days later, and killed it immediately. And so I started working with the congressperson in the district here, and started working with Washington D.C. and that was a really heavy lift, because the world was just upside down, and everyone was, you know, trying to just scramble and figure out what even was going on. And but we were able to work together and secured $3 million in the CARES Act. It was a new $3 million to replace what we had just, you know, been told that we were going to get and didn't get. And so the congresswoman went on the news and was talking about mental health for her district and how great it was going to be and how necessary and timely it was, given what we were facing with the beginning of the pandemic. And the money just took forever to show up. And then it finally did get to the state level, and it just got bogged down in bureaucracy. And as that's happening, funding sources dried up, and I had cut every expense I could possibly cut. I had cut my salary, I'd cut everything I could possibly cut, and the last thing that was left was my remaining salary. I mean, I was the only expense left. And so for the sake of the nonprofit, I had to make the unusual and unique decision. I had to lay myself off. And so in July, that's what I had to do. Here at literally the peak of my career, with all these successes, I was unemployed, and going from a really pretty high salary to unemployment. I mean, it was really weird, and challenging, and frustrating, and confusing, and things that people who have been unemployed or have been cut or whatever as a result of COVID, they know exactly what I'm talking about. This was really of no fault of anyone, just kind of happened, and so it was a very dizzying experience. And I finally I started thinking a lot about what do I want to do. It was a really neat opportunity to be reflective and think about what do I want to do, who do I want to do it with, how do I want to do it, and I really decided that I wanted to serve, and I wanted to be of service. It's always been very important to me. It's always been a passion of mine. I had the opportunity. I was actually the commencement speaker when I graduated my undergraduate degree. There was like 5,000 people at this graduation, and my topic was about service. And we have been given to, and therefore we should go give. Here we just graduated 5 minutes ago. Get to work. Go help other people. And so that was my talk, in my undergraduate degree, and in front of all these people, was about service. I've always believed very deeply in serving people, and that probably comes from my education in hospitality business, and that's really about serving. And I've always had a passion for public service and politics. And that should be about serving. And so I say all this to say, this is a core element of who I am. I want to serve. I want to help. I want people to be able to live the life that they need and want to live. And through the experiences that I've had, through the education, through the challenges that I've overcome, through all the things that I have put together, my natural skills and abilities, I wanted to combine them all to help people to overcome challenges that I've been successful in overcoming. And so I decided I was going to focus on helping strong managers or professional individual contributors. So these are like doctors, lawyers, engineers, politicians, people who are masters of their craft, and as they get elevated to such a level, often have a team of people around them, but they maybe haven't gone through formal training on how to manage or lead that team. And then also for strong managers, like there's a real difference between management and leadership, a tremendous difference, where being a good manager, like you're getting the numbers done, you're getting the processes done, people are showing up and doing their jobs, great, like that's kind of to be expected. I mean, that's what a manager is supposed to do. Now, how do you go from being a really an effective manager to a leader, where you're motivating, inspiring, empowering, driving, giving people opportunities to grow and grow organizations and so forth. And so I really wanted to help people to move from management to leadership. And what happens when we do that is it empowers and grows more people and helps more people to have the opportunity to serve. So that's why I decided to start leadership coaching for results. And so as you're looking at the webpage here, what is leadership coaching for results? It's really about helping people to identify who they want to be and how they want to do it. I mean, I do have a curriculum. It's called the Leadership Mastery Program.
Nice.
And it's a year-long program. So we work in cohorts, groups of 12. We work together once a month for a year, and we talk about just tremendous topics that are focused on emotional intelligence. So things like management versus leadership is kind of, you got to set the context. We talk about vision, and really having a vision and what that looks like and means. Talk about influence and how we can wield influence to get things done as a leader. And we talk about things like the power of trust and vulnerability and empathy and just a whole slew of things, diversity, equity, and inclusion, motivating and inspiring remote teams, which is something that we're, very, very actively having to deal with. And so that's all that is the content in it. And then actually there's a really cool thing in the program too. It's called the Ember. It's an innovation project that's participant-led, participant-identified. and it's focused on that thing deep in you. You're like, man, if we would just do this, the company would be better off, make more money, have a new product line, save money, grow in new ways, whatever it is, whatever that passion project is that you have in your heart,
Yeah.
that thing burning in you. You're like, God, I wish somebody would just listen to me. I go and speak on your behalf and tell your boss, get out of the way, and and give this person runway and help them out so that they can go be successful and own this thing. And then as the participants in the group, the cohort members, they work together, and really they work in leading their teams through the lessons that we've talked about to execute on what this vision is that they have for that project. And it has a tangible ROI benefit to the organization, which is great. Supposed to give at least 5x ROI, which is really wonderful. And then the cohort members get to have informal counsel forever that they can go to, people all over the country that they can say, hey, I'm dealing with this challenge. I've got inventory shrinkage. I've got this problem over here. I got whatever. And so yeah, so that's what the Leadership Mastery Program is about, which is
Nice.
in this website here.
Yeah, and I see too. It
Yeah,
says "leave your mark." Kind of related to
yeah,
what you're talking about there. The idea of like being a leader that somehow is remembered as having done something, leaving
yeah,
their mark, and that of course comes from the coaching that you do with them to help figure out what that thing is or those things are. They're going to help build that legacy where they're going to be leaving that mark. That's really cool. That's nice. I'm going to scroll down a little bit further here to see what else.
yeah,
Looks like I got some testimonial videos in here. That's pretty cool,
yeah.
man. Those are very powerful. And I encourage, if you're out there right now watching this, I'll give you guys a link here in the chat. If you guys want to check these out, and I'll put this on YouTube as well, definitely listen to some of these testimonials. This is, for any organization, this is going to be the thing that kind of is a huge selling point, right? What have other people experienced with this? What was their journey like? What has Matt helped them do? And then, you can take from that, like how you can apply it to your own business, right? And of course, with leadership coaching, there's always going to be a lot of things involved with that. And I like this sentence here too. You're not alone. Such a powerful thing during COVID. And related to you're not alone. I got to be honest, Matt. One of the reasons I reached out to you is over the past year or part of the year, when you started doing these videos on YouTube, I've been watching, and it's like having a really good friend there with me every day. At times, I almost felt like I was talking to you, even though you weren't there. And it was a real emotional connection for me of like just having somebody in my life again after a period of time of being very isolated and missing my friends, missing you as a friend, and just having your voice and that, I did hear that message about you laying yourself off, and that it was a painful message. My chest hurt for you. And then seeing you come back day after day with these messages about, leading people and making good decisions and coaching people, not charging for it, just coaching people around the world, giving them wonderful advice to have a better today. And just in that serving, right? You talk about the serving mindset, or getting that mindset of serving people, and you are, man. You're reaching so many people with this. Anyone that's finding this channel, guys, go check this out. I'm gonna open up the YouTube right now and give you guys that link as well. But such a powerful message and messages that he has here, and every one of them, I take something from it and I can apply it immediately and directly to my life. And so few messages on earth are like that right now. So many people are doom and gloom, and we don't have control of this. We don't know when this is going to stop. And here you are, and you're saying, whoa, 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 whoa. That's all going on, but here are some toolkits for you for all kinds of just different situations that are going to help you have positive outcomes. And that's what people want. They want the positive outcome in their life, not the things that they've been mentally struggling with COVID and stuff. I just love what you're doing, man. I feel blessed that you're in my life and that I have the opportunity to have had these messages. Shame on me perhaps for not sharing this sooner on stream. I mean, I know the chess community, even a lot of us are hurting. We had over the board chess that's gone away. It's all industries, all people getting affected, family members, friends perhaps passing away or losing their jobs or having to find their way again in unfamiliar territory. And all of those things need the coaching and leadership expertise that you provide. So I am just so excited to have you in my life, man. And if there's something you want to say about the YouTube videos too, something you want to point at or talk about with those, I'd love to hear it. I've definitely enjoyed them, and I'm so thankful that you did that for us.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. It was it was something that I was I've always had a political passion, and I was watching our kind of the national argument that was going on in the fall, and really all the chaos that came with the Capitol riots and all these things, and I put out a video sometime around the election, and it was just me kind of like sharing that really these elected officials, we used to call them political leaders, that they were our leaders, and they're not leaders. They're elected officials. They used to be leaders. Some of them have leadership abilities when they choose to demonstrate it, but most of these people that we see on national news, on a daily basis, are not leaders. They're just, hotheads with big soapboxes, and it's unfortunate because they should be leading. And that was essentially what this video was about. Was that it was damning of the left and of the right, that this is just not appropriate behavior. What we're seeing as part of this national argument, and really that we as people deserve better, and we should demand better, and we need to be voting for better, regardless of our natural political affiliation. We need to vote for whoever's going to lead most effectively, because that's going to give us the best outcomes. So I put this video out, and a friend saw it, and he said, man, that was powerful. Like, you should do more of this stuff. And I had done a series of videos previously in my career. I had 2 different series of videos that I had done. There were 30 videos each, so 2 months basically of videos that had been on different chambers of commerce, and they'd been in different state associations, social media pages. So I mean, these videos have been like really all over the place, and I was quite proud of that. And they were all kind of short and sweet, in and out, and they were good. And I mean, they played really well. People liked them. And so this guy, he said, you did that before, it was really good, you should do something again. And so that inspired me, and I said, oh yeah, all right, I don't know what this is going to look like, but sure. And so I took that challenge, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna record a video every day, and I'll post it. And if I have 2 people who give it a thumbs up, great. And if I'm so fortunate to have a follower base like Jacob Fortuna, or someone else at some point, then all the better, because then more people can benefit from it. And so these videos, they're all 3 to 5 minutes long, and just like you said, Jacob, they're called Moments with Matthew, and they're really just about whatever I see going on. If an article I read, something that's happening immediately in the world, something that I may have experienced, and that inspired me to talk about it. And really the whole thought process is, how do we behave as leaders? How do we take situations, challenges, things that maybe aren't good, or things that we don't like, and how do we still navigate those into a healthy, positive way? How do we behave as leaders for those around us who are facing challenges? And just like you said, the goal is to have everything be actionable, something that you could utilize immediately. And so I do have a YouTube channel. I've got about 90 of these videos out now. I think today was, something like 90. And so I've been doing it for last 4 months or something, and it's great, and it's part of what I'll continue to do moving into the future. And so it's been nice to have the opportunity to share experiences and thoughts and ways to help other people, and the response has been very positive.
Oh yeah, and the way you do them is so beautiful. The beginning of every single message, my friends, hello. A very wonderful way to begin a video. Like, just drawing us in, making us feel like we're part of the video experience with you, and then talking through a situation, and then also summarizing at the end. I mean, it's really well done. It's not just the fact you've been making videos every day, but it's the purposeful, intentional way in which you're doing these videos and this content that really draws me in and keeps me coming back day after day after day. I look forward to seeing the video, actually. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to listen to Matt this morning. Usually as I begin my day at work, first thing I do is listen to today's video. And then that kind of puts me in a good mindset for going through that day of work alone, at home. So I just can't say thank you enough for what you've done with these videos. And, I know like you said, it's a smaller viewer base right now in terms of people that are subscribed and stuff like that. But I know this is going to take off, because it's, like I said, it's the message that we all need right now. It's something that, people like myself are going to reach out to you early. And then as other people become aware of you, they're going to want your time. And eventually you probably won't have time. You'll have to maybe have Britt or one of your staff members, take on some of these people that are looking for this advice, because it's so difficult when you have like the answer for so many people to reach all of those people. But YouTube, what a beautiful idea, man. There's all these platforms now where we can reach out, give those positive messages, and then hopefully get positive outcomes, like I was saying, in our lives, where maybe the positive outcome, a lot of people are just like, how would I even get there right now? I really appreciate that a lot. And And then, related to chess and stuff, one of the things in the chess world that's going on right now, and it's being felt more, is the idea of cheating. Crazily enough, cheating, right? Because they're at home, they're isolated, and there's no one really holding them accountable in terms of like, do you have another window open? Are you using an engine? And we're seeing even like in top master events, occasionally people are cheating, or titled players on chess.com are cheating, and I think a lot of that comes from not having the leadership and the expertise that you have to share. Like the idea of like, why is this such a bad idea, not only for yourself, but for the game? And I think that's the sad thing. It's not even just bad for what they're doing, but it's what it's doing to the game. The idea that every time you sit down on a computer to play a game of chess with someone, you have to kind of wonder, is that person looking to use assistance for whatever reason? We can't really speak to what those reasons might be. There might be a troll, might be wanting to win the game, whatever it is, but they're for some reason choosing to do that. And I think the best way to counteract it, maybe you could talk about religion as another possibility, but things like this, the idea of like principles and reasons to, put the belief in people that you are, build yourself up, right? As you make mistakes, which cheating at chess is a huge mistake, guys. You're falling. You're falling in the eyes of everybody, and not just you, but now it's all titled players are looked at slightly differently because there's a chance, right? Once one titled player does it, now it's no longer this guy did it. Now it's anybody could be doing it, and it's really one of those things where very quickly we all fall together. So what I'm hoping is that people like you are going to help society, lift itself up and hold itself to a higher standard, and understand that like the win shouldn't even be the goal in life with anything. Do you feel that way also, that there's more than a win in life, and that the win can actually not be winning the game but something else?
Yeah. No, I appreciate you sharing that example. And it makes me think, kind of back to what I just said a moment ago. I said something that's, a pretty damning statement, that our elected officials aren't leaders, and I make that statement because look at who our elected officials are and how they're behaving. Now, are there leaders within that group of people? Absolutely, without a doubt. I can tell you that I know for a fact that there are. I had an opportunity to coach one of the senators in Michigan a couple years ago, and that woman is absolutely tremendous and has just fantastic integrity, and is doing it because she feels called to serve and to help the community and to represent the constituency she is serving. And that woman is a leader. Now she gets lumped in with all these other, chuckleheads who are just name calling and flaming each other out on the news, because you got a couple bad eggs, or many bad eggs, or people who are really doing it for themselves rather than for the greater good. And it brings everybody down. So like you're saying here, if you've got people who are cheating, the question really becomes, why is somebody cheating, right? So if somebody's a novice, are they cheating so that they have more of a level playing field? Well, cheating is still cheating, but are they doing it because they're trying to actually enjoy the game more? Because everyone else is so good that they don't stand a chance without cheating. Like in that regard, maybe we almost feel sorry for them. Give them a little empathy, right? That they're trying to learn, and this is a way that they can actively learn, even though they're getting a handicap, if you will. So there's that. But then there's the people who are, should be good and maybe aren't, or the people who are very good and want to be better, and maybe even the people who are expert, who are low in confidence. And that's what it really comes down to, is why are you cheating? Are you cheating because you need to, show everyone your win ratio, or because you want to rank up, or because you want to whatever, or are you cheating to make yourself feel better? And does it actually work because you cheated and you know it, even if your opponent doesn't know it, you know it?
Yeah.
And so like really, I to your point about, is there more than just winning? Absolutely. It's the game. It's playing the game, whatever the game is, right? Chess
Yep.
or any other game. The game of politics, like I just gave the example of, or the game of life. Are you playing to have fun, to create value, to have memories, to make memories, to make friendships? Are you playing for the right reasons, or are you playing because you just need to feel a sense of victory because you don't get it otherwise? And if that's the
Yeah.
case, that's actually kind of sad. And again, we should probably have some empathy for those people that they're doing it because they don't have anything else.
Yeah, I didn't think
And if
about
that's the
that
case,
aspect of it, but you're right.
yeah,
I mean, especially with COVID, I know a lot of people are hurting, maybe financially, maybe emotionally, And then, like you said, maybe they're seeing this as like a way to have like a dopium, like that happy feeling drug in your body when you're having a positive result, like that little dopamine maybe that little drug thing that kicks off that says, "Oh, I feel good, I feel happy." But it's got to be a lower version of that because, like you said, it's not truly them. And it's like we always talk about whether it's drugs or like the performance enhancing stuff. You're not cheating against your opponent. You're kind of cheating yourself. You're cheating yourself out of the truly good feeling of like having won on your own merit. And yeah, that's a good point. And those types of things, like what you did right there, the idea of like empathy, putting yourself in the other person's shoes, kind of stepping back for a minute, like you mentioned before about issues, right? You have cheaters, non-cheaters, but maybe we can come together and say, why is this going on, and try to, bring each other back to this more like positive chess world we used to have. And I think for me, that's what really hurts. I did chess as an independent thing, which sounds really weird, but I played chess by myself as an only child for years. Like I just opened up chess books and played the game by myself, and I read, I treated it very, very, a lot of respect, I guess. I'm reading about, Kasparov, Tal, whoever it was, and all I'm thinking about is how wonderful this person is, how amazing the game of chess is, how amazing their play is, and respect, 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 right? And you see the handshakes at the beginning of the game of chess, and there's just so many things that are about respect. And I always put the game at a higher category where you just had this like upper echelon of the world that was playing this special game. And then recently through streaming and things that I see, I realized that this very special world that I put in this really, really special place was actually like, in many ways, as we internet it up and we allow everyone in, it's less special than it used to be. And it makes me sad. Like I didn't want everybody to be part of this game. I wanted people that respected the game and people that were going to bring honor to the game and people that were going to want to draw other people in through their actions and behavior in the game. And what we have right now is we have people at the top level of the game, like the 2600 plus, let's say, like the really, really tough guys. And they're, without meaning to be so, they're extremely rude a lot of times. They're not really making the game seem like it's all inclusive. They're making it seem like, oh, you're an idiot, you're stupid. Like the comments and stuff really, if someone's just starting out with the game or even someone that's played a long time, they're very dismissive of their moves, very dismissive of them, almost like dismissing them as a person. And you're like, that's not what this is supposed to be about. And in a video where I talk about having students come to me, I say as part of my coaching, I don't want to work with blowhards that people are gonna come in and like brag. I want to work with people that want to lift up their opponent. So I want to help you beat the person that you play. And the first thing I want you to say after the game is good game with a handshake, win or lose. And the next thing I want you to say, especially when you win, is, do you want to go talk about the game? Like go kibitz for a minute. And then part of that kibitzing should be you recognizing moments in the game where you saw a challenge for yourself and saying to them, I was concerned about this possibility for you here. And the idea is you help grow them. You help grow their knowledge in the game. You're both growing together. But instead of that, what I'm seeing in most cases is, like I beat you down, you're worse, I'm better, and that is not the case. Like oftentimes, especially as you get to like upper level chess, it's the difference of like a move. Like you had this really good move in the game, you missed it, and because of this one move that you missed, you lost the game. And so does that mean that now you're infinitely worse than this person intellectually? No, it doesn't. It's just kind of a sad thing, and I'm so thankful again for your message, man. And I know I'm bringing up a little bit of chess stuff, but I did want that time with my stream a little bit as I had you here today. And I really, like I said, these messages, these videos. If you guys are out there, if you're a chess player and you're feeling hurt, and maybe you have or haven't cheated, or you're experiencing some of this stuff, and you're on either side of it, these videos on either side are going to help coach you in terms of how you can be a better person and how you can, maybe try to lift that person up, or how you can, help us all kind of grow together, right? That's what I wanted to do with my stream. I started off with the idea of like happiness amplified. This message of like, a song that I had playing that ended up being a DCMA, so I removed all that content. But it was that idea of like, let's come here, let's feel good, let's get away from the stresses of life and escape into this game. And that's what I really wanted. And I'm so thankful, like I said, Matt, for everything you're doing for the not only for my game, but for the world. I probably will do like a follow-up interview with you, maybe 6-8 months or in the future when you have time. I'd really like to see where this ends up going. Your newest staff member, Britt, is also a friend of mine, and I know she's going to do great things for your organization as well. I'm just really proud to be affiliated with you, man, and to know about what you're doing with this stuff. So keep me posted. I'm going to be checking out your video again tomorrow. Do you have any like messages or things or takeaways you want to give our audience today?
Yeah, I appreciate having the opportunity to be with you. I really do, and to share a little bit about the world that I get to live, or the life I get to live, and it's just a real honor to be able to share this message today. And so, I was sharing with Jacob before we started today that I've been doing a virtual speaking tour all over the country about this topic of trusting yourself, and I alluded to that a little while ago. And I guess that's really the thing that I would leave you with is that whatever it is that you're dealing with, part of the COVID pandemic, part of whether it's financial insecurity, whether it's job insecurity, whether it's health insecurity. Maybe you've lost somebody along the way here. In regards to chess, maybe you're new, maybe you're kind of progressing along the way. Maybe you're one of these individuals who has taken an unfair advantage and maybe bastardized the name of the game a little bit. Whatever is going on, that matters less than this. Whatever it is that you're facing, you have the power and the ability to successfully navigate it if you trust yourself. The experiences that you've had, when you think thoughtfully about them and you combine all the positive outcomes that you've had throughout your life, and you even maybe evaluate the negative outcomes and the lessons that you've learned there, all the things that you've ever experienced, when you take it thoughtfully and intentionally, you have the parts and the pieces to be successful to navigate the challenge that you're facing right now, whatever that is. And so I want to really leave you with this message of hope, is that if you trust yourself, the outcome will be whatever you need it to be.
Wow, that's a great message, Matt. Now, we'll end it right there. That's beautiful. You guys take that to heart. Make sure you're not letting the circumstances and things in life hold you back. Have that belief in yourself. Know that you can get through these things. Go check out those tools and things he has on YouTube. Make sure you're watching those videos. And guys, I wish you guys a blessed day. I'm so thankful again to have had Matt here, and we'll look to have you over again soon. Thank you so much, man. Have a good day, and goodbye, everybody. You guys take care, and thanks again, Matt.